Ah. Count.
Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. We gotta go back to the beginning. Wrath is a hideous emotion. This researcher, Hohenheim, knew what he was talking about. He's susceptible to it after all. Wrath really is irrational. Something boiling deep down that wants to curse out the cruelty of the world. It's ultimately meaningless. But he didn't mean to apply that kind of wording on this stage. LCB Regular Checkup 7.5-6, titled Meaningless Wrath. A reminder of how truly meaningless this challenge is. 3 hours. 3 hours for a single stage, and I still cheated. Not once, but twice. It was the 23rd of January. Look, man, people aren't here for a long-winded story. Get to the point. Okay, damn. Where was I again? Ah, yes, LCB checkup. Similar to past intervalos, it features a gimmick. Murder on Warp Express had introduced chain battles, while Time-Killing Time had set sinners to be deployed. This intervalo isn't too different, as it utilizes set sinners for some of its stages, plus little bonus special passes for each one. Meaningless Wrath is one of those stages. Its gimmick? This passive right over here. This is one of the factors that make the stage so damn hard for our team. To let you see how utterly impossible this stage is, I'm going to explain step by step how the odds are heavily stacked against this team. I'm byproduct me. Meaningless Wrath has 3 waves, each containing a particular type of enemy. Pikatilmire. Wave 1 has class 1, Zayan. Wave 2 has class 2, Death. Wave 3 has class 3, Ki. Attacks? They produce wrath. A lot of wrath. They're incredibly weak to gloom and lust. Resistant to... well, it depends on the class. Our set sinners to be deployed are Holu and Sinclair. Honglu is an actual good base ID. Sinclair not so much. They're both good damage dealers, and Hong Hong has a lust skill 3. I'll give them that. On to resistances. What? Resistances. What do you think? It's very cool, but not ideal. That is really painful, but still not bad if you don't get hit. Now let's see sin resistances. Look at those weaknesses. Both weak to wrath. Oh my god. I'm so screwed. So yeah, they're both weak to wrath. That's it? Just don't get hit, man. Class 2 and Class 3 enemies have counters, and you can't goddamn offset counters with defense skills. So, undodgeable attacks if you attack them. Great. Don't attack them then. Oh, here we go. Introducing this passive, Boiling Wrath. With every turn, this unit gains burn potency equal to the turn count. With each passing turn just stalling, Honglu and Sinclair gets closer and closer and closer to reaching their first stagger bar each turn. In my opinion, this stage wants you to end these fights quick and not take too much damage, regardless of the counters. It's normally not a huge problem for the first and second waves until... Oh Lord, oh Christ, please have mercy. 55 offense level. It's fine, it's fine. Skill 1 is expendable, not memorable at all. You can clash that 10 times out of 10. Skill 2 has a base power conditional if it won the clash. Manageable, but we're not losing any. Skill 3 is... oh, that's a lot of coin power. It doesn't matter if we stagger it before at 6 plus burn. The counter gains coin power and reuses twice. It hits 3 times. That's 3 damage on the rigged state. Why, Project Boom? Why? The only saving grace is hold on a minute. On its counter it says it gains 10 weak resist damage boost. I thought its lust and gloom weaknesses get weaker, but Yisang is the same passive for its base ego, and ego passive shouldn't detriment your team. Turns out the status deals more damage on resistances and damage types that enemies are weak to. What? Why? That's just stupid. Why give more damage on a damage type resistant boss? It almost resists everything already. Just look at it across the board. That's bad enemy design. Shouldn't you let players have opportunities for properly dealing damage instead of 2 specific goddamn sins? What happens when players don't have the identity to fight with that? What the fuck? This reuse counter is the sole reason, upon reaching wave 3, it is an instant team wipe. Even if they successfully survive without staggering, this burn passive will spread and stagger them instead. It isn't even the case where I can't achieve the EX clear. I just can't complete it while losing. LCB Sinner Hong Lu and LCB Sinner Sinclair don't have the necessary DPS to reach wave 3 under 6 turns, and they can't even kill this thing. They can't even feel their base egos. They can't even support themselves. Metaphorically, physically, egoistically, it's pretty impossible. It's impossible. Alright, enough of acting depressed. This video isn't just a copycat of Coop Spawn 4 where he explains why this is hard and eventually posts a win. Quiz time. What parameters would you change or use if your units aren't up to snuff? Without changing their identities, of course. Support passives? They're gone. Can't be used. They're disabled. Durante. Ah, yes. That's good. Not like there's any other options. Superbia is our tool to victory, with options for bigger damage and arguably the most important factor, changing our wrath resistance from fatal to normal or even better, ineffective. But we need to get past the first reuse counter. So far, my calculations and testings show that despite Honglu's base ego being gloom, it's not exactly enough to stagger. 해보겠습니다. 환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠. So, our only possible choices is to use any other ego. First off, we need to see what ego is usable outside of Superbia first. We produce pride, sloth, lust, wrath, and envy. Turns out these resources perfectly fuel either Impending Day Sinclair, Hexnail Sinclair, or Rosia Desire Hong Lu. We're cutting out Rosia Desire since our lust generation is limited to skill 3s only. The other 2 egos have more availability, and Sinclair's test slot can only occupy a single ego, so it's either Impending Day or Hexnail. It's a battle between survivability or damage potential. Both egos are uptype 1, by the way. Impending Day has a 0.5 times wrath resistance and is essentially an on-kill conditional healing ego. The thing about on-kill effect healing is it's kinda bad compared to odd use and on-hit effects, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Due to its uptype 1 condition, we're not using the corrosion, ever. Hexnail instead offers 1 times normal resistance for wrath, but does more damage due to 2 coins, and fortunately, class 3 doesn't resist envy. Ignore all the other stuff, they're not important. Comparing these two, I'd say Impending Day is more useful because of the healing and resistance, so I'll be trying that first. Regarding Superbia, I'll be doing that on Honglu to change his resistances around. He has no ego that resists wrath. Alright, let's go.
슬픔에 흔들린 마음을 이렇게 터져버리죠.
After a goddamn hour stuck on balance, involving taking intentional damage and dealing damage, it was a stupid strategy in hindsight. This run had the best possible chances of winning. I took damage intentionally to get past the first stagger threshold, simultaneously healing above it. Honglu used Superbia in wave 2 in case he doesn't outspeed Sinclair in wave 3. I'll let the results speak for itself.
재밌는 순간이에요. 해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요. 해보겠습니다. 해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
No, no, it's so close. Fuck. Oh. After all that planning, and I still lost. Maybe if Honglu didn't get his ass blasted by actually dodging that attack, maybe if I used Superbia on Sinclair to use 9-2 or Lantern, it will work. Maybe if I prioritize no damage and save my Lust Nukes or Wave 3. Maybe if I gave up. So I did exactly that and started an end clear and destroyed this shit stage, getting the EX clear in the process too. Isn't it easy if you just use what's best effective? Wow, maybe I should just do that for everything and forgo my pride for this stupid challenge. I broke the rules for Several days later, after completing the intervalum, a video popped up on my feed by this global warming guy. He did an EX clear using MiSide these. You know what ego he used? Cavernous Wailing and Hexnail Sinclair. I was on the right path, but I fell short the last step. It isn't because of resistances, it's shield. As you see, shield blocks pure damage, but also blocks burn damage. It's better than resistance since it's additional health, so you don't reach the first stagger threshold quicker. There goes another 400 shards. It's best to uptype 4 Cavernous Wailing since 20% shield HP is better than 10 or 14%. I tried using uptype 1 to 3 and safe to say I give up. Oh, and don't use Corrosion, it only affects Sinclair. Following the strategy listed in the description, wow, that is extremely short and it doesn't explain a whole lot. Don't take damage and avoid attacks inflicting burn. Okay, there's a whole lot of problems in this stage. One of them involves enemy skill RNG, because sometimes class 2 will just use counters repeatedly throughout turns, so I risk Dongbaek not dodging or taking more counter damage. To use this strategy, you need to sparingly use Sinclair's nuke skill and save up Honglu's Lust skill for wave 3. You need damage for reaching the stagger threshold and after it staggers. Next, if class 3 uses 2 counters, you're screwed. Reset until you get 1 counter. Now this will depend on whether Sinclair outspeeds Honglu or the inverse happens. If the inverse happens, hope your units are slower than class 3 since its attacks will go based on left to right. Just make sure Sinclair clashes with the leftmost attacks. However, if Honglu is faster than class 3 and outspeeds Sinclair, just instantly reset. Alright, so you fulfilled the condition of Sinclair outspeeding Honglu. You can use Superbia and Cavernous Wailing now. Listen carefully. Regardless of which skill slot, always target that ego on the leftmost clashable attack. Okay? Good. Now on, I'm going to be using my win. Believe me, I've already been at it for an hour and 30. Now hope you're lucky and that bastard doesn't keep rolling heads 3 times in a row to expend your shield. Of course it attacks Sinclair twice. Now it should be staggered. Ideally, both your units shouldn't be staggered, but either works. Just don't let them both stagger on the same turn as class 3. Now use all your possible nukes and ego this turn or the next.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요. 야! 타!
I didn't consider class 3 having hit the perfect 1 in 4 chance of not using counters in 5 of its skills.
Holy shit! No counters?
What is that? 1 in 1,000 chance? Huh. Whatever. The strategy depends on both the units not staggering anyway.
Okay, this might be it.
해보기는 할게요.
I tried attempting to dodge a 24 rolling erupting wrath. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. And it will never work if I target another attack since Honglu and Sinclair rolls both their lowest speed values and class 3 goes first. Thank you, Limbus. That doesn't stop Sinclair from clutching with Hex Nail.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
이거 제 덕분일까요?
Shut the. That was the most RNG shit available on this game. In this game. Just because I used base sinners. This is not healthy. This sucks. I hate it. I hate it.
So yeah, that's the strategy for being the shit age. In my opinion, Project Moon overtuned this unless you're using Gloom and Lust skills. And have Pierce resistance, Wrath Sin resistance, more DPS, and just... This is obviously made for full stop Honglu, isn't it? But what about Directionless Sloth? The thing is, it's just these 2 stages. The other ones aren't this bad, with the exception of 7.5-10, but I'll get to it when I release the complete intervalo. I think it's just too late for that. Essentially, I beat it easily, I might add. Okay, it was not that easy. Anyways, who said that sentence about Wrath? I'll goddamn kill that guy.